Cyber Hormuz. Sounds like the title of some blockbuster movie, right? But what we're about to get into is a very, very real threat. We're exploring a new kind of warfare where one of the most critical choke points on the planet could be shut down not with bombs or ships, but with a couple lines of code.
So let's just paint a picture here. Imagine all the naval ships are out there. They've cleared the mines. Everything looks safe. And yet, the Strait of Hormuz is completely shut down. How? Well, it was closed silently, with just a few keystrokes from a server room, maybe thousands of miles away. This isn't some movie plot. It's a strategic reality we really need to get our heads around. To understand just how real this threat is, you gotta look at the track record. Think of it like looking at a suspect's rap sheet, right? Iran's cyber skills aren't some new thing. They've been proven time and time again over the past decade.
And this timeline, wow, it really shows you the sheer range of their targets. We're not just talking about one or two things. We're talking about major U.S. banks, the biggest energy company in the world, defense contractors, and get this, even critical civilian stuff like water facilities and hospitals. This isn't some amateur hour. It's a clear, escalating pattern of cyber aggression. And if you want a number to really illustrate the scale of the damage we're talking about, look no further. 35,000. That's how many computers were completely wiped out at Saudi Aramco back in 2012 in something called the Shamoon attack. I mean, literally wiped. Their data was replaced with an image of a burning American flag. The attack was so devastating, Aramco had to scramble and buy basically every hard drive on the market just to get back online. It was chaos. Okay, so we've established the history, we've seen the capability. The big question now is, how could all of this be turned into a weapon against the Strait of Hormuz itself? Let's break down the digital attack vectors, basically the weapons they have on the table for a brand new kind of blockade. All right, so there are really three main digital weak spots or choke points you could go after. First, and this is a big one, you could hit the financial heart of the whole operation, the insurance platforms that basically give every ship the green light to sail. Second, you could blind the captains, mess with the vessel traffic systems that guide ships through those crowded waters. And third, you could go after the backup plans. You could cripple the oil pipelines by attacking the industrial control systems that run them. Any one of these, on its own, could stop traffic cold. No shots fired. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds a little sci-fi, right? A bit theoretical. But the thing is, we have a real-world case study that shows exactly how this can play out, and it was a total catastrophe. Let's talk about the Maersk warning. Yeah, this isn't just theory. Back in 2017, a single cyber attack gave the entire world a wake-up call about just how fragile global shipping really is. The shipping giant Maersk got hit by a piece of malware called NotPetya, and what happened next? Well, it's a perfect blueprint for the kind of chaos we're talking about. The fallout was just staggering. We're talking a $300 million price tag. 76 port terminals around the world were shut down, just stopped. And to recover, they had to reinstall 4,000 servers and 45,000 PCs from scratch. The entire global logistics network of one of the world's biggest shipping companies was just paralyzed. But here's the kicker, the part you really have to understand. Maersk wasn't even the target of that attack. They were just collateral damage in a cyber attack aimed at Ukraine. So think about that for a second. If that's what an accidental hit does, what do you think a deliberate, targeted attack with the specific goal of shutting down the Strait of Hormuz would look like? It would be orders of magnitude worse, no question. And that brings us to the ultimate threat, the real nightmare scenario. This is where the digital and financial worlds collide to create a weapon that no navy on Earth can defend against. It's called the insurance feedback loop. I really want you to let this quote sink in because it perfectly captures this new vulnerability. You can escort a tanker with a destroyer. You cannot escort an insurance platform with a firewall. Physical security is totally irrelevant if the digital and financial systems that make global trade possible are taken down. So here's how this nightmare scenario actually works. Picture this. The physical mines are all cleared, you've got destroyers escorting tankers, everything looks safe. But then a cyber attack hits the digital platforms at, say, Lloyd's of London, where all this stuff is insured. Suddenly, no one can issue policies, no one can assess risk. The entire market just freezes solid. And just like that, traffic stops, not because of a mine in the water, but because of malware in a server. The strait is physically wide open, but commercially it's completely closed. So you have to ask, why would Iran even consider this path? Well, It's because this new kind of battlefield, this cyber battlefield, it plays by a totally different set of rules. It creates a kind of persistent, nagging conflict that a traditional military just isn't built to fight.
And this table really breaks it down for you. A conventional kinetic war costs billions, it's pretty obvious who's doing it, and eventually it ends. A cyber war, well, it costs maybe a few million, it's incredibly hard to prove who's behind it, so you have high deniability, and a piece of malware can just sit there, dormant, ready to be reactivated months or even years down the line. If you're a country whose conventional military is a bit depleted, cyber warfare is the perfect asymmetric weapon. It's a total game changer.
And that's what leads us to this really chilling thought. While the whole world is focused on clearing mines and escorting ships, the next phase of this conflict might already be happening. A war fought from scattered, hardened server rooms that no bomb can ever reach, with the goal of creating a permanent, silent blockade. So I want to leave you with this question to chew on. If the insurance market is the real gatekeeper of global shipping, and it's also the most vulnerable digital choke point, then shouldn't the multi-billion-dollar maritime insurance industry be treating cyber defense as its absolute top strategic priority? I mean, is hardening its firewalls now just as critical as building another aircraft carrier? It's something to think about.